Why would anyone choose to own a SIPP over a personal pension? In a word, choice. The choice to manage your own assets in a way that you see fit as you build up towards retirement. It's a huge marketplace. There are 1.7 million SIPPs currently in existence across the UK pensions market, covering £220 billion worth of assets. The original concept behind the introduction of SIPPs was to give pension savers a greater level of freedom and choice as to how they might manage their own pension assets. And of course, anything that encourages people to engage with their long-term savings program, and anything that makes that process of acquiring wealth for retirement more appealing is a good thing. It was a very clever introduction. But in reality, a lot of SIPPs are actually just personal pensions in a fancy wrapper. But there is a problem. Parts of the pensions industry, especially those involved in the pilot high, sell it cheap end of the spectrum, are not motivated to allow a high degree of choice and complexity within the SIPP products that they offer. Broadly speaking, the types of assets that a SIPP can hold, and therefore a pension saver could reasonably consider to invest in, within a SIPP are split into two camps. You have the standard assets, which are fairly self-explanatory: stocks, shares, collective investments, that type of thing. And then what are loosely termed non-standard assets. Non-standard assets tend to be such things as commercial property, an investment in your own business, a range of things which are by definition more complex. They are harder to police. They require a higher level of oversight, and therefore many SIPP providers, quite a significant number actually, will not permit non-standard assets to be held within their particular SIPP products. If you're a SIPP owner that has a product which doesn't permit non-standard assets, you have by definition lost a huge amount of the flexibility that was originally designed into the product in the first place, and that is arguably the reason for having it. Interestingly, the FCA have been looking at this too, and despite considerable lobbying from certain interests within the SIPP industry who would like to see non-standard assets done away with completely, the FCA concluded that that absolutely was not in the interest of savers, and that purpose of a SIPP was to allow, where appropriate, non-standard assets inside the SIPP wrapper. It's not often that I get to say this, but well done the FCA. You did the right thing by pension savers. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to click to subscribe.